You've underestimated everything I've been through. I think you can't imagine all the things that I can do. I see you on the pedestal, you put yourself upon too. I'm a wild animal here to devour you. Watch this!
Honestly, I'm just sick of them not taking me serious.
Are you ready for it? Watch this! Can you feel it? Watch this!
So I'm a little late to the game with a video on this camera. It's something I've had for a couple of months now, and obviously it came out a while ago. There's a ton of videos out there. But recently, I got to work a wedding that it had some weird circumstances. And I'm not going to get into any specifics, but we decided we were going to film this more like a very high quality home video. And so I decided I was going to run a gimbal and I needed something lightweight. And I decided it was time to use my Lumix S9. And in this video, I'm going to tell you why, thanks to that wedding, everybody is completely wrong about this camera, including yourself. So with the Lumix S9, we know it's an incredible camera. If you haven't heard about this yet, Lumix released this. It got a lot of controversy. I even had some issues with it, even though I still wanted it because I'm a Lumix fanboy and I love getting pretty much every new release. As of the filming with this, we've got an S1R, we've got an S12, and an S12E. If I could, in a perfect world, I'd have all three of them, even though I have literally no use for all three of those cameras, especially the R. I'm not even a photographer, but back to the Lumix S9. Now, one of my favorite things about the Lumix S9 is I needed it to be the perfect dad cam, which thanks to Zach Mayfield, he showed us all that this is indeed the perfect dad cam. It's super lightweight. It's tiny. Let's just compare it side by side to the Lumix S5 II. I mean, there's just, it's a fraction of the camera. Now, the Lumix S5 II and S5 IIX, they both have grips. I love them both. They are my absolute favorite cameras that I've ever owned because they look so great. But in this tiny, tiny form factor, we got a super light, super full frame. I don't know why I said super, that's not a thing, but it is a super full frame camera with cool colors all throughout. There's every color to fit whatever style that you like with a lot of the same similar features. So just like the S5 II and S5 IIX, we get 6K open gate. We get 4K 60 for that creamy slow motion, especially as a wedding videographer. I use it probably way too much, as most wedding videographers do. It's one of my favorite modes to record in, but your 4K 24s, every codec you can really think of. We get all of that in this tiny little form factor. On top of that, you can use all the lenses because it's all L-mount, it's all Lumix full frame cameras. You get to have anamorphic support, some incredible anamorphic support. And on top of that, class-leading IBIS, in-body image stabilization in this tiny, tiny little body. And I think it's unbelievable that Lumix somehow fit all of that in this. And then people had the audacity to get upset, and I don't get it. I love using this thing to take videos and photos of my kids. I don't even like taking photos. And recently I discovered the expand mode. I had to go back and check my Lumix S5 II and S5 IIX to see, like, is that a feature that's only in the Lumix S9? Because the first time I ever heard about it was for this. And sure enough, it looks like it is. I could be wrong. I'll double check it. Or if you think I'm wrong, leave it in the comments down below. Let me know. It's an incredibly cinematic looking photo size that's pretty much all I use. And I think some people, when I send them a photo, are like, oh, where's the rest of it? Where's all the height and everything? And like, no, you get cinematic photos out of this bad boy right here. And this thing is just so jam-packed with features. For me, one of the things that I wanted, kind of with that dad cam, is something to travel with. Lately, my wife has been doing a lot of different workout kind of stuff, and I took the Lumix S5 IIX and a 24-70 to a race that she had, and I filmed a bunch of clips of her and her friends out there and her teammates running around. And boy, by the end of the day, that camera just weighed on me. It was just so much, and really, I was trying to be there to support and have fun, but also get some really, really awesome clips of the team. And I felt like I was back at a wedding again. I was working, but it was for free, and I, couldn't enjoy because I'm lugging around this heavy giant thing. So I knew pretty much after that, it was time to finally get the Lumix S9, and that's really what I grabbed it for. So any traveling that I can do and be able to use this camera anytime I go out with the kids, the family, any friends, any get-togethers that we have. If I want to go to see some of my friends' concerts or anything like that, and I just want to take a little camera in there to get some cool clips of them, this is going to be the guy to use. It's, again, perfect. It's lightweight. It has all the same features of my big boys, but in this little tiny size. One of the other great things about this is the battery life is incredible. Now, I find myself, especially with the kids, recording in the MP4 Lite format. And basically, it's an open gate format that is just a lighter kind of codec. So you're not getting this super high quality video format. But for me, for something that I can literally get on a Lumix Lab app, transfer straight to my phone, and then instantly upload it to Instagram, or send it to my wife for her to look at, or the family, and say, hey, I got this awesome clip of your kids. On top of that, it looks great because I'm using real-time LUTs with this, which we'll get into in just a second. It's easy. It's seamless. I'm able to get clips of the kids and just instantly have them at my fingertips without having to come home, bring the SD card in, put it in the computer, get it over, then edit it and do all these kinds of things to it. All of that's done straight out of camera and then right over to my Lumix Lab app. With the Lumix Lab app, there's not only the seamless integration to just copy all your photos and videos over and be able to edit them on the app and then instantly upload those to the Instagram or Facebook, whatever it is that you use out there. There's also real-time LUT, which I said we were going to talk about. And what real-time LUT is, it's been in some of these cameras basically since launch, I believe, of the Lumix S5 II. But the Lumix S9 took it to another level. We now have we now have Lumix Lab support on the bigger cameras and the big boy cameras. But the S9 was the first camera to bring that function to us. If you're a creator out there, not only do you have the open gate functions on here so you can crop and do everything you want to do, but you now have access to a ton of creator LUTs and Lumix-driven LUTs that basically what that does is it gives you color grading straight in your camera. And then one of the other cool things that I like about it, if you see on the back there, there is a LUT button right here. I didn't think I was going to actually like that. I figured I'll just do the same thing I've been doing on my other cameras and just, go through, get my color profile set up. If I want to export some LUTs, I'll load it onto an SD card. Now, even if I have everything set the way I want it, and the way I want it to look, sometimes I get to a different environment quickly. Like, let's say I'm outside at a friend's concert, and then I go inside, and now we're in kind of like a nighttime concert setting. Well, there's a ton of creators out there that have created beautiful, amazing LUTs for photo and video for you to just slap on. And instead of going through your entire menu system, you just hit that LUT button, and you start scrolling through all those LUTs that you've downloaded and choose whichever one you want. It's an incredible feature I didn't think I was going to like, or not necessarily like or dislike, but just something I probably wouldn't use much. And I use it way more than I probably should. So obviously there's a lot of cool features about this camera that it basically compares to the S5 II and S5 IIX. It's such a small form factor. But then one of the other things that I like is I got this Lumix 18-40 lens with it. Now this lens here is tiny. So let me actually take the filters and the, I had to obviously downsize. It's got a very small filter thread. Looks like a 62 millimeter here, but this is the lens. This thing is tiny. Now, this lens gets a lot of hate as well, which I actually want to tell you guys, don't let it fool you. Now, obviously, to work this lens, you have to open it up. The camera will yell at you and say, hey, please open this up. And you got to get it to the 18 millimeter, but 18 to 40, there's hardly any movement. Actually, it goes in and then back out once you get all the way to the 40 millimeter focal length. It's not the most well-built lens. It's plastic in design, but I think that's the beauty of this lens. It's a lightweight, super small, be able to travel with it type of lens. And with this camera, you got to remember, this came out and had hybrid zoom. I don't know why I said that so slow, but I did. So it has hybrid zoom. So that 18-40 turns into an 18-62. So I've got wider than a 24-70 and almost the 70 length in such a tiny form factor. Now, it is a variable f-stop, and it's not a very good one at that. I believe it's a 3.5 to 5.6. It might be even worse than that. 4.5 to 6.3, which isn't very good, especially for video. But when I'm taking videos of the kids or the family, or I'm out with my wife and I'm trying to get more in focus, I don't want a super shallow depth of field anyways. And then this camera or this lens kind of forces you to be more creative and really think about your shots sometimes. So if I want to zoom in, I understand it. It's not a constant 2.8 like my 24 to 70. It's not really what I'm looking to use this for. So I can get my exposure set the way it's supposed to be set on the fly. I know how to work my cameras. I know how to do that. And I know how to do it quickly and be able to really think about my shot before I'm just sitting there pressing record over and over and over again. So to me, the variable f-stop doesn't bother me. Like I said, having a less shallow depth of field, I'm getting more in focus. I'm able to vlog easily with it. It's great for being outside. I don't plan on vlogging or taking videos of my kids in pitch black. They're going to be asleep, or, you know, I just don't understand why anybody would really worry about that. Now, again, the price is kind of high. It's almost $500, I think, or I'll put it down here. It's somewhere around there. And so for that, yeah, don't get this lens. I probably wouldn't get it unless you really want something this compact, this lightweight, and super easy to use, honestly. Even trying to manual focus with this thing is kind of a pain just because the grooves are kind of right next to each other. So sometimes I go to actually change the focal length rather than to focus on it. But I think it's incredible if you can get it paired with the S9. Again, unless you really want something this small, which you could probably get some cool stuff from Sigma, just maybe not in a zoom format like this. The 10 to 15, the 10 to 18 from Sigma is pretty small as well, but it won't go as far as this lens will. That's something to consider for the price and a higher quality build. But that also puts your camera in an APS-C format where this is still full frame coverage with this tiny little lens. Obviously, with this camera, there are some drawbacks, and we got to talk about those because I want to make sure that you're well informed before you go, hey, I'm not seeing any issues with this review at all. I should probably go buy this right now. Hold your horses. Let's talk about it. So obviously, this is a tiny camera, very, very tiny. And one of the issues with this camera is it can overheat. Now, at that wedding I was at, I never experienced that. Now, for me, I was shooting pretty much a 4K 24 the entire time. Even at 4K 60, though, I'm only taking like 5 to 10 second clips. I'm not shooting a full wedding with this and keeping it recording forever until my battery dies. Even for me, I probably, if you were thinking, could I use this for a ceremony? Probably not. I wouldn't risk it for a ceremony. I wouldn't try to get to a 20 or 30 minute ceremony, which is what I typically experience with this camera. What I want to use this camera is a gimbal cam. Even though it's got class leading IBIS, throwing it on a gimbal and just kind of waving it around at everybody, I can get some extra angles of the couple, some different unique angles. Typically I run a 3 camera setup. I've got 2 cameras on the side at a 70-200 and tight on bride and groom, and then kind of a center cam to get everything else, the efficient, everybody coming in, everybody going out. This gives me extra angles now. Now I can kind of walk around with this and get some more of the crowd, get some more of the couple, get some different things going on, catch some people laughing, catch people, kind of in that act of enjoying the wedding, to really help the couple feel like they really were a part of their wedding day, especially their ceremony. So yeah, this could overheat, but again, don't keep it recording. I did experience it getting warm, but I never got an overheating symbol or anything like that. It was weird to kind of feel a camera getting warm. I'm used to the internal cooling of the S5 II, S5 IIX, and then the GH7. It's got, crazy giant fans on it. But this did get warm. But again, no overheating symbols, no issues with it. One of the issues that when this camera came out, it had record limits. Now those have been lifted, so you can record for as long as you want or until the camera shuts off on you. But it was a hot day, and I didn't experience any issues. Some of it was in direct sunlight. I even had to step away, so I set the gimbal on the ground, kind of just lifted up and just let people kind of come in and out for photos. Had it recording for about 5 to 10 minutes. Again, no warnings, no issues, completely fine. One of the other things about this is it is small, it is tiny, and that's one of the reasons I wanted it. But in my opinion, this small rig grip that's on here is kind of a must. Now, this little grip here doesn't come with it. It adds a little bit of thickness to the camera here, and I've heard people complain about that. It's really not that big of a deal. It helps sits it up on a counter better. It's got an Arca Swiss, kind of mount on the bottom here, so I can quickly release it on and off of my gimbal because I've got a quick release for it. I don't have an issue with it, but for me, again, the workout competition that my wife does and stuff like that, sometimes I got to get the camera above people, for dancing at night for weddings. This is an incredible thing because now it's time to relax. It's time to have some fun. I don't have to carry around my giant camera. So if I want to lift the camera up, I don't want to accidentally drop it. And while this skin on here it's got some grip and texture to it, I don't think it's safe enough so just to be safe and, be cautious about it, I added the small rig grip, and I honestly really like it. One of the things that were kind of weird for me is, my S5 II, S5 IIX, all my cameras have these kind of spinning dials up top, as well as a wheel in the back and an ISO button. Whereas there's an ISO button on the back here, but so I could figure out how to change it, but there's only one wheel. And normally the wheel controls aperture and shutter. So front aperture for me, back shutter, and then an ISO button, and then you would change. But it took me a long time to figure out how to actually change shutter speed. I couldn't even record properly because I couldn't get it to the right shutter speed. But I finally figured it out, and basically I have a quick button now, so I can, this wheel here actually acts as one, this is two, and then press for ISO to actually change the ISO. So there's some quirks with it. If you're used to the S5 II or S5 IIX or even the GH7, the menus are pretty much the same. It's just kind of figure out how these buttons work. The little dial here is really, really shallow, which I'm absolutely not used to, but rightfully so. It's supposed to be kind of a flat, small form factor camera. There's not a big EVF. No EVF here. So it's a shallow kind of knob here, but it feels great. Shutter kind of, dial here feels okay. It's not nearly as solid as my big boy cameras. You've got a red record button here, exposure compensation if you're somebody that uses that, on and off switch. And then back here, this little scroll wheel, I don't like it. It feels very cheap. I think for the price, which we'll get to towards the end of this video, I think for the price, I think it should be a little better, honestly. I think it could almost match how the ones on my other cameras feel. Again, I understand they had to make it more shallow, but it feels like that would be the first thing, honestly, to break on this camera. And then the buttons are kind of clicky, but that's never bothered me. They're very soft on the other cameras. Honestly, the click tells me it's a tactile feel, tells me I'm actually pressing the button. So I don't mind it at all. So a lot less buttons, but again, rightfully so. Just be in the moment, be there, hit record, have it all ready to roll. You've got all the custom settings here that you can set C1 through C3, just like the rest of the cameras. At C3, I think you can get up to 8 or 9 custom settings on those. So it's really not that bad at all. And then, yeah, something to talk about. There is no EVF on this. I do, honestly, because I'm not very good at photos. I hate editing photos. I'd much rather edit video. I find myself constantly lifting it up, but is that a deal breaker? 100% not, because that's not what I use this for. I use it to get quick content, and that's really what this is for. It's quick content while still retaining the same quality as my big boy cameras. That's what it's for. So if you're wanting to record like a ceremony or something like that, yeah, don't get this. If that's what you're getting it for, it's not its use case. It's for quick content. Anything 10 to 15 minutes, sure, you can do that. Not going to record an entire podcast with this. You're not going to record an entire concert with this. It's made for quick content and still retaining the same high quality. And then it fits in it'll fit in a little pocket. It's almost pocket size. It'll fit, kind of it'll fit in a fanny pack. That's all you need to know. Between that and this, it goes in a fanny pack. You can go anywhere with it and still have the same high quality as your big boys S5 II and S5 IIX. Now, of course, I know we got a ton of new cameras out, but, these are still absolutely incredible. And then, one of the other things that I don't like on the bottom here is kind of your battery slot and your SD card slot. It's right next to the battery. I hate that. I understand why it's like that. Again, trying to squeeze everything into this little body that there's one last spot to put it. But I hate it. I think it's it is so hard to get that thing in and out, especially, again, this adds thickness. And I said, don't complain about it, but this actually does make it harder to get that SD card out of the battery slot. That's the only thing I don't like. But again, a lot of stuff I film on this, I can send right to my phone and I'm ready to upload anyway. So I just keep rolling on the SD card slot. Doesn't really affect me that much. And then, like the EVF, there are some things missing on this. And quite honestly, if you haven't been convinced yet, you've got to agree with me. Nobody should care about this on the camera. There's no hot shoe. I'm going to be honest. I don't take flash photography, and there's no microphone company out there yet that makes a hot shoe mounted, little shotgun microphone. I'm hoping one day Sennheiser gets one out there. I believe that's mine, the Sennheiser MKE 400. I absolutely love that microphone on top of my camera. And hopefully they get it sorted out, because I heard rumors like a year ago that could be a possibility. I wish it was. Sony has their little hot shoe mounted microphone. I would love that. Get rid of the cables. But for this camera, again, I don't care. Honestly, the internal mics for what I use this for are fantastic. You could vlog with this, clean it up in your editor of choice. It sounds great. Honestly, it's some of the better on-camera mics I've ever heard. Similar to how people tout about the Sony ZV, whatever it is, one of the 75 different CVs that they have. Great internal mics. So I have no issue with the hot shoe. I also literally have zero issue the fact that there is a micro or mini, whatever, HDMI on here. I don't plan on hooking this up to a monitor. I'm not going to rig this thing out. That's not what I'm using this for. That's not what anybody should use this for. If you really want to rig up a camera, go buy a proper camera. I guess if you want to call this proper, go rig this up. That's what you should be rigging up. This should be, again, your lightweight gimbal with the same quality type camera, or you just kind of pull it out of the pocket and grab some quick content kind of camera. That's what this is for. This is not for rigging up. I don't even rig up my cameras anymore. I don't even run monitors on my camera anymore. I'm standing in a wedding for 10 hours every day, so I don't even rig my stuff up anymore. I try to go as minimal as possible, and this fits every single one of those needs. And then last but not least, again, I'm not a photographer, but I do want to practice more photography. And there's no mechanical shutter on this. So it is a little weird. You're not going to get super high-end sports photography without it, I guess. I guess it has something to do with the way the shutter's designed. And I have noticed that with my kids, if I have a certain shutter speed, set on my big boy cameras versus this, I see that there is a little bit of extra motion blur or something in there. I don't know. It seems to work out fine for me. Even with the kids moving, I can crank that shutter just a little bit more. I catch them all in focus and without a bunch of blur going on. And it does feel weird. So if you're going to use this to take photos, it almost feels cheap. Like those old, power shot cameras or whatever they were back in the day. That's what it almost feels like that, taking photos. But then you look at the photo and go, oh, yeah, that's right. That's why I spent so much money on this camera, because they look incredible. Still running a 24.2 megapixel sensor, whatever it is. They're incredible. Just, who cares? Again, don't take this to a photo shoot and expect to make your client super happy because you're running this camera. I wouldn't do that. I'm showing up with this bad boy, and then the client's going to be like, oh, yeah, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. I'm not using this for that. Again, I'm going to capture some behind the scenes and some quick content with this. Run some MP4 Lite open gate mode on this. It's capped at 30 frames. I don't think I mentioned that earlier. That part kind of sucks. It's not even capped at 30. It's only 30 frames in the MP4 Lite mode. I don't like that. I'm a 24 frames guy. I don't know why. It's just what I've always ran with. So except for back in the day, I recorded everything at 60 because I'm a video gamer and I thought that's what you were supposed to do. High frame rates. But anyways, that's it. I mean, that's what it's for. That's what it's really for. So at the end of the day, that shouldn't be an issue. Now, I think I got this camera on sale. I'm pretty sure it's normally $17.97. You can get the kit lens with that. I got on sale, I think, for $13.97. It was a massive discount on it. I got the color that I wanted because you can only get this olive green with some sort of kit lens, whether it's the 20-60 or this. If you ask me, if I'm going to buy this setup and I want a small setup, I'm getting this lens. 20-60 is a great lens. I have it. I'm going to probably be bringing to New York for the next workout competition this lens, this camera, the 20-60. And I think that might be it. Maybe the 10 to 18 from Sigma. I'm keeping it all small, and I'm going to just have to move to get my shots. I'm not running a 24 to 70. I'm not breaking my back. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to enjoy the time up there with friends and my wife and really get some stellar content, because I'm running S5 2X, baby. That's what I'm running up there. I'm running an S5 2X in this form factor. So hopefully now you've all realized that that's why everybody's wrong about this camera. I see a lot of videos saying you can't use this. You know, you can get the kind of behind the scenes content. You can get some cool stuff with it. Probably not use it professionally. I say you're wrong. I say you should use this camera professionally. I think this camera can do everything, as I've stated, that the S5 II and S5 2X, and these make me money. These, I get paid to film people with these cameras. I get paid to film people with the GH7. It does all that same stuff in a full frame package, so you get that shallow depth of field if you pair it with a shallow lens. Like, there's no reason not to use this camera professionally, and I am absolutely ecstatic that I picked this camera up. I wish I didn't wait as long as I did, because again, every time we leave the house, I know I got my dad cam at the ready. I'm going to get some great pictures of my wife and kids, and lots of memories that I get to keep forever because of it. And I wouldn't take these other cameras with me. They're just too heavy. I want to be able to also, bend down and pick my kids up and enjoy time with my kids and not worry about where do I set my camera. No, it's just on a leash. It's on a strap to my side. I'll whip it out, take whatever photo and video I want. I hope you all have enjoyed this. If you did, please comment down below if you have a different opinion on why I'm wrong about this camera. And if you want to see more, please feel free to subscribe. I am going to be working. I have a plan now. I keep saying this in every video, but I have a plan. I have a content day specifically set now, because I do work full time in a completely different job. I do IT full time, and then I also do weddings on the weekend. So right now is absolute busy season for me, but I have one day a week that I'm planning to do content and get some of these videos out, because I've got a ton more of new gear that I haven't even posted a picture about. So this was my favorite piece though so far. I've got a lot of cool stuff. You guys can see some in the background. I've got some new lighting from Amaran here. I've got other Amaran lights sitting in a bag somewhere. Got a lot of cool stuff that I want to talk to you guys about, but this was by far my favorite because I use it as much as I possibly can. And honestly, I think I'm going to practice what I preach to start using it more than these guys. I need to start using it more, especially during dancing, use it during a ceremony, and maybe even use it at the beginning of the day when I'm just getting ready content. Like that's what it is. It's content, and it's going to look great. It's going to look exactly like the rest of my stuff going into a wedding film. And the clients aren't going to notice that I brought this little guy out. It's going to be the same exact thing. Same exact thing they're used to. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you all have a good one. I hope you be safe. And I will see you next week for the next video, because I have a content day now. And that's how we're going to roll. Thank you.